Well, hello, this is Captain Clumsy, your favourite fumble-fingered fool, and today I'm going to be asking the question, is the Honda Rebel CB1100T or CMX 1100T, whatever it's called, is it the right bike for me in retirement? Cue music. We're heading towards Damrell's Motorcycles, the local Honda dealer, looking out over the very glamorous clay country. Test ride booked on the CMX 1100T. So, just a bit of background. So I have ridden the 1100 Rebel, but the unfaired version, also DCT. I booked this one because I've ridden baggers before, and I'll put up a photo of the Harley 1200 Low Tourer, which I owned, lovely looking bike, and in the end I sold it. I can't exactly remember why, but I did struggle a little bit with getting it in and out my shed. That was one thing. I want to make the decision is, for somebody of my height and size, I'm only 5'4", by the way, short legs, Scottish descent, all that stuff, but does it fit me? Can I manoeuvre it? Has it got the kind of power I need? Would I be able to take it on longer trips? Because I'm thinking 65 and beyond, in effect the last bike I'm ever going to ride and own. So it needs to be a balanced long-term decision. There is one other contender. I'll reveal that to you towards the end. But yes, it's also quite a bit cheaper than the other contender, which might give you a bit of a clue if you're thinking about bikes like this. But I think probably the Rebel is a bike you buy with your head and not your heart, whereas the other bike is a bike you buy with your heart, not your head. So it's Captain Sensible versus Captain Chaotic, if you see what I mean. Yeah, right, so we are on the Rebel. Get myself familiar with the controls. So the first thing I'm noticing is there's quite a reflection on the instrument cluster, but then the sun is shining literally directly on it, and it is still readable. So we've got rev counter, we've got miles per hour, we've got riding mode, we've got mileage, temperature, and the warning light over to the left. Left hand cluster is all the kind of mode buttons, lights, etc., and the paddle shifter down, up, and on the right there, that's obviously cruise control. That's plus minus. That takes you into neutral at standstill, and that puts you into drive, which is what I'm about to do. So, further ado, side stand up, and it's very reachable for me, for my height. Don't have to put it into gear, so hold the clutch. So there's a bit of a reach for me. I've got short fingers, and we're in drive. Little tiny bikini fairing. Does that take any wind off me? What it does do is take a little bit of wind perhaps off your gloves, which is going to be interesting in the cold. I would always specify heated grips, I think, for a bike like this if you're planning to do any longer runs. But my feet are flat on the ground, absolutely bang flat, and there's a little bit of leeway. So let's stop talking and go. Foot pegs are sort of mid-forwardish. It's very stable at low speeds. Beautifully stable at low speeds. And we've just clicked up a gear. These guys are all going out together. Marvellous. Indicators there. On to the left, lower left. A lot of people don't like where Honda put their indicators, but this seems to me to be fairly sensible. Yeah, got an engine warning light. That's nothing too serious, maybe just a reminder of a service. So first of all, I'm going to take it along the A30, which is our one and only main road in Cornwall. The reason I'm doing that, because this is nominally a touring bike. So I want to ask the question, how does it feel on the road? Actually, it feels great at the moment. We're behind a selection of So I've just changed down to give myself a bit more go, but it's automatically put me back into 6th. Bit of wind blast. Don't think there's much protection from the screen, so let's give it a few miles just to warm up. Mirrors are pretty clear. They're the small rabbit ears type. Actually, rabbits don't have round ears, do they? I think Mickey Mouse is the phrase. So indicated the legal speed limit, and it's dead relaxed. A tiny bit of vibration from the foot pegs. 21 centigrade, 4,000 revs just about. Slow again. It's quite a reflection off that instrument cluster. That's probably the one negative so far. But you can still read the instruments, it's just not ideal. So we've got half a tank, it's good. Gonna test the brakes in a little while. Not right now, there is a fair amount of wind blast. I don't know whether there is an alternative higher screen or whether that will benefit at all. I'm not too worried about wind blast generally, because I've ridden naked bikes all my life. Seats is firm, no mounted out in. That was the horn, very weak. Well, I'll be fine. It's still on the bike, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to pull into Victoria Services. Brakes, plenty of bite. You have to resist the temptation to fiddle with the down levers. Oh yes, plenty of lean angle too for a fairly big bike, because the competitor bike does ground very easily actually. I must admit, it is pleasant being in the right gear all the time. People have said this bike, or the geared version, can be quite twitchy. You can feel it changing gear, certainly going down gears. I'll park in my usual place and do a walk round. So even at these really low speeds, it's still very stable. Don't want to grab the brake too much. So the good thing about this bike is I can paddle it around, which is marvellous. Right, so let's go through some of the things on the instrument cluster. Just checking that's still working. So, mode. We've got the trip, a total trip B. Oh, that's average speed, average fuel consumption, 9 miles per litre. I think you'd have to change that. I'd never be able to work that out. And trip B, 37.9 miles. How do you change the road riding mode? Oh, that's probably riding mode. Right, let's go through the startup sequence. So, ignition key down here. There we go, start button. Just going to take it somewhere a little bit quieter to do the walk round and general talk about the bike, because it's a bit of a background noise here, let's just say that. Brake in, side stand out, in drive. Let's go! Just find a quieter space. Further away from the services you go, Marvellous cars, marvellous. This should do it. So, there it is, the Honda CB1100, or is it CMX 1100T? This demo bike has already acquired a few scratches, sadly, but it's all in sparkly gloss back, which is a very nice colour, always a very nice colour. I think there is a deep red colour as well. Looking at the forks, they're coated with something that makes them look dark and sort of vaguely menacing, but the fork action seems to be quite progressive. Now, this is a bagger, so it's got panniers on the back, and one of the panniers is a bit bigger than the other because under here we've got the exhaust. The sound of that, really not too bad. I'll do a proper exhaust note in a minute. So taillight, LED, usual massive number plate, tiny pillion pad. You're not going to use that really, are you? I mean, you could, but seat is quite firm, no doubt about it. I think you need to think about maybe comfort seat for this if there is one available. Chain drive, of course, no gear change, it's the DCT model, and water cooled, of course. Front LEDs too, and they have the Honda running lights, which I think are quite cute. But basically the Africa Twin motor, which has been tuned at 86 or around 86 horsepower, very mid pegs, perhaps maybe very slightly forward perhaps. Everything's matte black if it's not gloss black. So chrome fanatics look elsewhere. Let's see if we can look in one of the panniers. Yep. So this is the smaller one, this deep, it's about the same width. I don't think you can get have been struggling. Let me try and do that again. There, it's shut. I think I was just using the wrong technique. So I'll do an exhaust note for you now. The engine revs freely. That was about 6,000 RPM. Fat tyres, it's a bobber. Front and back gear change, sorry, not the braking system. Looks quite sharp. It is ABS, of course. See if we can work out what the various different things do. So all the indicators to all the warning lights to the right. We've got an engine warning light on, so I don't know what that is. 2:41 is the time. Right, that's how you change the mode. So I'm in the driving mode changing bit. That takes you onto rain. That takes you onto user. That takes you onto sport. So I think I might have a go at that next. And on the left hand lever is your parking brake, which you get with this, and I think you have to. So parking brake on. I think there is a button to release it somewhere. As ever, this may be a problem, Houston. So got the parking brake on, that's good. It's got a red light to show that. Fairing guard protects your hands. There's a guards for your hands, but not very much else. And the panniers feel a bit plasticky, to be honest. However, they are locking. Right, let's get back on her and ride back, because I left my phone on my bike, which is not a bright thing to do. Okay, I'll work out how to get the parking brake removed. As already mentioned, this is not my first ride on this bike. I have ridden it before, so I think I'm reasonably placed to form my opinions of it. It's certainly very stable at slow speeds, high speeds. It just gallops along, plenty of reserves of power, enough to get you into real trouble. So one needs to be careful with the throttle for this bike, but on the other hand, you're never going to be stuck overtaking a lorry, a car or whatever. Plenty to get you out of trouble as much as anything else. Okay, so I'll pop this back to Damerol's now. I'll probably get a coffee or something and do a general roundup of the bike. Oh, by the way, something else. The bike has remote reservoir shocks, which you can't really see with the bags on.
So I'll see if I can flip this round and show you. Down in there, remote reservoir shocks, which I don't know if they're adjustable or not.
Okay, so we're going to give it a bit of 360. I'm going to turn the engine on now, so you probably won't hit anything they're saying now. So I'll keep that on for a few miles, and then I'll take it up before we get back. When I get back, I'll do a final roundup. Is this the bike for my retirement?
So, next to my Motor Guzzi V7 Special 2, the bikes are roughly the same size in physical, or at least in length, but of course the Honda is a lower bike overall, and perhaps, just perhaps a tad longer maybe. The width on the, it's a man said about people scuffing the panniers with their boots, and it is true, but there's a scratch on the tank as well. I think the questions I would ask are, is the tank range long enough? Is the seat comfortable enough? I think all those things can be done, and otherwise I like the build quality, the compactness, the gear change, the engine, the braking, the looks even. I think on black is probably the most neutral of the looks, but then I like kind of reds. Now the question I'm asking myself is, would I buy one? And there he goes, it's firing up again, and it's muted but pleasant. Yes, actually I would buy one. I think it does what I need, that's for sure. So that's not going to happen anytime soon, so let's carry on with the Guzzi. So once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'd like to say please like, comment and subscribe. More subscribers I have, the more the message gets out to other people. I'd be very grateful if you did that, and all feedback, as long as it's politely phrased, is welcome too. Excellent. See you in the next one.